how we met is a long story, but it's a real good story. Anyway, I was on my mission. I was 3 months from going home when Ron's brother came into the mission. Uh, and we were getting together as a group in our district. And his brother came over to me and he said, I have a brother in Vietnam. Would you write to him? And I said, no, I don't write. When we were growing up, you didn't go flirt with boys. They come and ask you first. And so I just said, no, I won't. But if he wants to write to me, that's fine. And so I gave him the address. And I got one letter from him while I was in the mission, but I never answered it because I was on my mission. Then when I got home, there was another letter waiting for me, and I should have known better. But anyway, it said in the letter, you don't have to marry me, just write me. He's always been crazy. And so anyway, so then go on, tell your side.
So I was in Vietnam because I was 24 years old and I'd just been drafted. And so I'd been in Vietnam for about 4 months. So I wrote her a couple of letters, as she said, and I said, you don't have to marry me. Well, then we wrote for about 5 months. It was almost Christmas. And so she sent me a pair of Santa Claus pants full of toys and all kinds of goodies to eat and stuff. And so then she sent me this picture of herself with an engagement ring. And so I thought, well, that's all done now. So I don't have to write for her anymore. But she says, I want to have a picture of you. And so I sent a picture of me because she'd got a revelation that she was going to marry me. So she wanted to know that I looked all right for her to marry. And so then I sent her the letter.
What I did with the picture was it wasn't that exact one. I sent him one like it.
With a ring on it.
But I fixed it so I didn't look like a ring. My birthmark is a topaz, and so I made it look like a topaz ring.
When you're going like that, it's like an engagement.
Anyway, we wrote letters, and I didn't send him that letter until after Christmas, and we was writing a long time. We'd been writing a long time. And one day, one of the letters come in the mail, and I went to my bedroom to read it, and the Spirit told me he was going to be my husband. And I always joke about this and laugh about it because I was kind of vain when I was growing up, and I liked to be in fancy dresses and all kinds of stuff, and I like cute boys, not ugly ones. So to me, they were, I say this one's cute and this is not. That was very vain and very bad of me. But I asked him to send me a picture because the Lord had told me he was going to be my husband.
But you didn't tell me that.
Huh?
But you didn't tell me that.
No, I didn't.
And then I went home in March. So I'd been there in April. I mean, I got there in March and I came home in April. And so I'd been there for a year and 14 days, just 14 days extra. And so I was done with the service when I came home. So I came home and I went down to see her. She lived in Las Vegas and I lived in Darby, Montana. And so I went down, took my dad and my mom and my sister, and we went down to see her. And I went out to see her with my sister, and I told her that I'd brought my sister for my chaperone. The first time I went to see her, I just brought a tape recorder. But then, so then later on, about in July, so that was about in March, or in April. And so then I went down in July, and we went out to the Grand Canyon, a few things. And so I was there for about a week. I took my sister's car so that she could be in an air-conditioned car.
So when he got home, he did come and see me. The first time I met him when he came out to meet me, was in the ugliest shirt I've ever seen in my life. It was paisley, and I hate paisley. And so as soon as we got married, I threw it in the garbage can, and he never missed it. So
then I come back down in well, she came up to see me in August. So she flew up, and I met her at the airport, and then we went back down to Vegas. And so I went to Vegas, and I lived with her folks and her for about we got there in September, and we got married in November.
Okay, it's my turn. Oh, I wanted to correct so many things, but I forgot what he said. Oh, yes, that was it. First of all, he came down to see me again, and we spent some time together. He stayed with my brothers in their room, and for a period of time, but it wasn't very long. And then he got him an apartment, and then he got a job, and we started dating, and we got married November the 14th, 1970.
Okay, so now you get to tell about us getting married. And you can tell a little bit about our dating while we're there.
Okay. He's a really blunt guy, sometimes I don't know why I married him. But anyway, the first time he ever kissed me, he said, "I don't think we can get married because our noses are too big and our kids will be ugly." He was just like that, really blunt. Some of the things he says always embarrasses me, and I nudge him, but it don't do no good.
Tell about the wedding then.
Oh, yes. He's not a very romantic guy. He come to pick me up at work, because I worked for Vegas Village, and I was a CBS operator. And when he come down to live, he got apartment, and then he would come pick me up, take me to work, and come pick me up. And one day he come to pick me up, and he had a rose for me in a thing that was the only rose I ever got from him. But I appreciated that rose. Oh, I did get one that was plastic one time, but I was such a character. I mean, I thought that plastic is ugly, so I didn't enjoy that one. When he picked me up one time, he had my diamond ring, and he says, "Look in the glove compartment and get it out." And that was how romantic he was. Anyway, so what else you want me to tell?
When we were sealed in the temple.
Oh, yes. Anyway, you go ahead and tell that part.
So it's the ceiling, it's the room right off the celestial room. It's still there in the new St. George Temple, since they've revised it twice. And so we went in there, and he gave his spiel about being sealed forever. And then I took
Yes.
Then I took the wedding ring out, and I go to put it on her finger, and he says, "Well, it would be good if you took the price tag off of it."
The price tag was hanging on. That's how he is.
So I was trying to get the price tag off of it, and he says, "Never mind, it's taking you too long. Just go ahead and put it on. You can take it off later."
And I'm dying, because I'm the type
And I
of
thought
person.
Kay would like to tell that part.
I'm the type of person that likes everything, kind of nice and not, but not him. So we've had to learn to deal with that.
So that's the end of our marriage. Well, the interesting thing was I was a vet, so I went to school because they'd pay the way. So we moved to Ogden, and we were going to school. And so she calls up my dad's uncle.
You called him up. I didn't even know him.
Because that was the one. So she went on an appointment with him to see him.
Don't tell us.
And so I says, so are you having a baby? And she says, no, he just gave me some medicine for throwing up and stuff. We used to go on motorcycle rides. We went down to Lagoon one day on the motorcycle. And she says, I love roller coasters. So she got on this roller coaster and she puts the bar down and she can't draw her stomach in or nothing. And that bar just barely fit. And so we went on the roller coaster. She says, I'll never get on another roller coaster again.
Because you're pregnant or what?
Yes.
Because
He doesn't tell everything. He leaves out words.
It scared her. And I go on this motorcycle ride and she's on the back. And so we go over this jump and I'm just sitting there holding the front tire so we won't crash, you know, because she's got a baby. And she just sitting there enjoying herself, just laughing away. And
Ron, don't tell every detail, and you know they're not interested.
so then she has
Trust me.
So then she has a baby. So then we moved to Montana. So we go to Montana. And so she's holding the baby like this, you know, no seat belts, and the roads are icy.
See, he leaves words out.
And the snow burns are on both sides of the road, so you can't get off the road. So I'm going down the road and I start sliding around, and so I go off and I hit this side and I go over and hit this side, and she's sitting there with the baby going like this with her. And so then I straighten up and I continue on down the road going 50 miles an hour.
That's enough. You've told enough. He's done. He's done. Yeah, erase most of that, please. I mean it. I mean it. If you're going to show it to
She
other
wanted to
people,
do it for her kids, so that's it.